Hello, fellow writers! This is the Broke Author's Guide to Formatting. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about ebook formatting. Just a warning before we get started, I absolutely hate ebook formatting. Not as much as I hate formatting for print, but I really don't like doing it. Most of this video is just going to be me showing my screen, but before we jump into that, I just want to mention that I'm using Microsoft Word to do my formatting. There is a program out there called Vellum that will apparently do all of this for you in just a couple clicks, but unfortunately it only works on Mac, and I do not have a Mac computer. At the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a really quick hack to do your formatting in just a couple minutes, no matter what type of computer you're on. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, the book that we're going to be formatting today, or I should say reformatting, is Cold Spell, which is the first book of my Silver Bullet Chronicles. Now, I originally released this back in 2017, so it's getting a re-release this year, and it's going to need reformatted to do that. Now, I've already applied all the changes that I want to this document, and as you can see, it's already got some formatting that's been done to it. So what if you are starting with a document that doesn't have any formatting whatsoever? I've got you covered. This is pretty much a blank document with absolutely nothing done to the text. So I'm going to show you how you can go from this to this. And as you can see, there's been some formatting done all over this document. But if you just open a document and start typing, you're going to have something that looks much closer to this. And so you may have your chapters not on different pages, and they just kind of run together like that. When I am writing, I actually do some of the formatting as I go because I like to jump around in the document as I'm going back and forth. However, most people I know do not do that. So let's start as if we haven't done any formatting whatsoever. The first thing that you're going to need is a title page. Now, when you open this in Kindle, all of this really pretty formatting, the nice text and all of that, it's going to be gone. So it doesn't matter what kind of pretty text and whatever I put here. That all gets customized on the user's Kindle. And as far as I know, there's no way to really preserve that. At least not in Microsoft Word. What we're going to do is just say, okay, the title of our book is book title, right? And we want this to say by Jane Doe. Now we want this stuff all on a page by itself. So we're going to want to insert a page break. Did you see how I got there? Under the insert menu up here at the top, you just click that and hit page break. And it's going to enter a break in the page that you can actually see by turning on some of the formatting options, which I highly recommend you do when you're formatting. Now, to turn on the ability to see paragraph breaks and page breaks and things like that, you're going to want to go to the home menu. You see this funny looking backward P? Turn that on. And now you will be able to see paragraph line breaks, which is what these are. And also, you can now see your page breaks. Now, we are going to want to center this. And just because I like it to kind of look different, I actually don't remember if this makes a particular difference. But I always increase the size. Now, on this document, you can see that I've done a little. I added some nice lettering and whatever. That's actually just left over from when I did the print edition of this, or I was going to. I never actually made a print version of this book, so that's just sitting there. Okay, so now we have a page break, and we have our chapter that's starting on a new page. Now, some people may choose to start it a couple lines down. You can do that if you want. I don't think you need to, but how do you get this to read as chapter 1 in your Kindle? Well, you need to turn it into a heading. So Automatically, the heading is like this weird blue thing, so I don't keep that as blue. We're going to change the style. I want it black text. I absolutely hate Calibri. Again, these things won't translate over. It's just that I hate looking at that particular font. So I'm going to center it, and I recommend bolding your titles because with the hack that I'm going to show you at the end of this, the program that you use is going to scan for larger text and bold as heading titles, or title headings. So we're actually going to increase the size of that from the normal 11. We'll go up to, let's say, 20. And we want it centered because chapter headings are centered. Okay, so you can see that there's little dots between each one of these. Everywhere that I've put a space, you have a dot. Don't worry about that because that's not going to show up. Because when we're done, we're going to turn off all of these little marks with the paragraph thingy there. But for right now, we want to keep it on so we can see what we're doing. So what we want to do to keep this so that next time we go and we do another heading, it does exactly like this, because if right now, if you just highlight this and click heading 1, it's going to go back to that. And you don't want that to happen every time. So highlight the chapter 1 the way that you want it. We're going to right click and select update heading 1 to match selection. Now, every time we put in anything that we change to heading 1, it's going to look exactly like this. Okay, so that's how you get headings in. And in the other document, you can see these are my headings right here. And they all look the same no matter where you go. So that's one way to get those to be consistent throughout the document. And that's the key thing to formatting, is consistency. You want your book to look completely consistent throughout. So we also have this paragraph. Some people don't indent the first paragraph, and that's perfectly fine. But you're going to want to indent some of them. This is a second test paragraph. Be what? And here's another sentence. Make it look better. There we go. Okay, so you'll notice that there's a weird space between these paragraphs. We don't want that. So one thing that we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of the paragraph text. Do not highlight your heading. You see up here where it says paragraph, there's a little teeny square arrow thingy. We're going to click that. And we're going to click this do not add space between paragraphs of the same style. Now, right now, those two paragraphs are in the normal style. You can tell because this box has a little outline around it. Click OK, and now that space is gone. Okay, but say we want our paragraphs to all be indented. We want the same thing. We need to open that same menu. Under the indentation part, you want the first line indent, and you can see a preview of it here. So the first line in every paragraph is now going to be indented. The other option is a hanging indent, which we don't use for fiction. It's generally used in an academic setting. So select first line. You also want everything to be single spaced in your document. I don't mess with this stuff over here. Just make sure that you have first line under indentation, single line spacing, and don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. And then you click OK. Now, what we've just done is just format these two paragraphs. If we make another paragraph, we're not going to have this formatting. So we need to set this to be what the normal style looks like. Same way as we did with the heading. Right click normal, update normal to match selection. Now every paragraph that we start, is going to have the first line indented. Really, that is all the formatting that's been done to this other document. Except that as I write, when I go to the next chapter, I automatically add the heading. And as you can see, I haven't yet changed all this to single space, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, I have single spaced this document. I have also added a copyright page. This is just standard copyright and disclaimer text that I use on all of my books. You can find that just about anywhere. I've entered my author name, the book title, book series, the copyright information, all rights reserved. And then I have added this little tidbit of information here because I want people to sign up to my email list so that I can continue to give them news and information and updates. So I put that at the front and at the back of my books. But I don't want it to be like over here and weird looking. So I'm actually going to center all of this. And I'm going to increase the size. As you can see, this part right here is not a link. Normally, if you put in a link like that and you just hit enter, it'll automatically format it. But let's say it doesn't. How can you turn that into a link? Well, the easy way is to highlight it, right click, and then link. And then you can put in the address you want it to link to right here. Hit OK, and now it's a link. And that's how we're going to do links basically throughout the book. So as you can see, I have another page break at the bottom of my copyright page, and then we go straight into the chapter. Now, I don't know why there are all these weird little things there, because we don't actually want those there. That's one reason why we have this particular tool turned on, so that we can see that there's a page break between every single chapter, and if we have weird spaces, we can get rid of them easily. So like there should not be a space after this, and there should not be a space before, right? So that we're going to delete those. Make sure there's no space at the end, there's no space there. Formatting is super repetitive, and this is actually why I freaking hate doing it, because it takes so long. Now, this is not the only way to format a book. This is just how I do it. I'm sure there are other guides out there that maybe even are better than mine, but people ask me how I do it, so I'm just going through and showing you exactly what I do. Okay, I'm seeing that a lot of these don't have them. Now, it might be tempting to just jump right down and be like, well, they're all fine, but again, consistency. We need to make sure there's no spaces at the beginning, no weird spaces at the end, because sometimes when you copy and paste from another document, it brings in some weird formatting. So the best thing that you can do is, if you've done that at all, anywhere in the document, or done any formatting at all, like where I've changed font or spacing or anything, I'm just checking to make sure that nothing weird is going on. And Microsoft Word is really bad about freaking out when you go to upload it, and it has weird spaces and weird breaks and things like that. So we're just gonna finish going through here and see if we find anything like that that we can take out that will make our book look much better. Because all those extra spaces, all they really do is just make your book look like crap. Sorry if you're seeing any spoilers for the book, but that's the risk you take. This book's been out for like almost 2 years, so. Okay, I have finished going through all the chapters. I'm actually at the very end of the manuscript. And one thing that I do to increase the sell-through of my novels is I put this little line here at the end on the bottom of the very last page. The reason that I put it here and not on, say, the next page is because when you get to the end of a Kindle book as a reader and you go to turn at the page from the last page of the story, there's this little pop-up that asks you to rate it and tells you the book is over. So a lot of times readers don't know that there's anything at all after this unless they close that pop-up. So I want to have a call to action before that thing ever comes up. And you basically get one thing that you could ask readers to do here. If you start putting in like leave a review and pre-order the next one and click here to join my email list, you're going to overload the reader. So you basically just need to put one thing here. Which thing is more important for you to achieve with this book? And for this book, since it's the first in the series, I really want people to click and get the next book in the series, which is actually up on pre-order right now. So we're going to put in the pre-order link. Now, I use universal links. Some people are using those books to read and the bit.ly links or whatever. But I use a service called Reader Links, which is a subscription service that costs me about $20 a month to manage a lot of my links, and it tracks my income, sort of like Book Report does, and it does a lot of stuff that I'm not going to talk about in this video. In fact, I could make a whole different video about tools for writers, tools programs for writers. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, leave a comment down below and I will make a video about that. But for now, we're going to get the pre-order link to Fool's Gold, which is the next book in the series. And I have that here. This is the back end of Reader Links and what it looks like. So we're going to go to Fool's Gold. And I want the link. Now, as you can see, I've only got the email list link, so I'm actually going to make a new link. I'm going to put it in the back of Cold Spell. I want it to go to Amazon book sales page and add link. So I'm going to copy this link address. And as you can see, it tells you how many people have clicked on your link, which makes this super useful to tell me how many people are clicking where for what. So anyway, I've copied that link. We're going to go back into the manuscript. I'm going to add the link here, like so. And now when we're done formatting and we upload it, people will see that at the bottom of the next thing. So I'm just going to add a few more spaces to make it clear that this isn't part of the story. All right, moving on. I have my author notes that I just added. And this is an absolute freaking mess. So what I was trying to do here was list all of my books in one place. Now, I could use a link that Reader Links has in here where it lists all of your books, but I really don't want to do that. I want all of my books to be listed here. So it looks like what I had tried to do was put it in columns, and it looks awful, partly because I think the font size is different. So let's make that 618 and bold that, because this is a heading for a specific type of book. And then this is a series title, so let's make that 14 and bold. So all series titles now need to be 14 and bold. So I'm just going to go through and do that. 14, bold. 14, bold. 14 and bold. Now, as you can see, when you start getting a ton of books out, it can be kind of a pain in the butt to list all of them together. So I think that eventually what I'm going to wind up doing is just listing a couple different books that are related to this. Okay, let's make these all 12. And these were all going to turn into links the same way that we did before. I'm going to get the link from reader links so that I can track who's clicking, or how many people at least are clicking on this in the back of Cold Spell. And that tells me that, like, if a lot of people finish Cold Spell and I go in and I look at the links, and there are a ton of people who are reading Cold Spell and then picking up, for example, the first book in the Lazarus Codex, Death Rites, that those two book series share an audience, which probably isn't going to be the case because the Lazarus Codex is very different from the Silver Bullet Chronicles, but you never know. There's definitely going to be people who read everything that I put out, and that's always nice, but the majority of readers in general won't jump from one subgenre to another. I wouldn't expect, for example, the people who are reading Judah and the Silver Bullet Chronicles to probably go read Broken Empire, because that's science fiction and it's really different, and like Hellbent Halo is much darker. So if I was just going to list one series in the back that goes along with the Silver Bullet Chronicles, it would be all of the Judah Black stuff, because that is what I think that most likely those people are going to go buy. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to insert links in the same way. I'm going to go back to the books page here on reader links. Here's Judah Black. We're going to go to links. And as you can see, I don't have a link for Cold Spell, so we're going to make another one. I'm just going to go through this one more time and show you guys, and then again, right click, insert link, Control V, paste the link. Okay, so that's actually what I'm going to do with all these, and I will be right back after I've finished that. Okay, as you can see, I have finished adding in all of those links. I also, while I was at it, went up here and added in a link at the end of my author notes. This link goes directly to the Amazon review page. I created this link with reader links. I also added in a link to Goodreads here, which I just got by going to the Goodreads product page here, and I just grabbed this link. As you can see, this one has the old cover, which I need to update, but I just put it in just like I did all these other links. Now, all the links and everything I need are in. I don't really need to do any additional formatting whatsoever. This particular document, you can upload it as is to Kindle, exactly the way that I have it. However, it probably won't look all that good. So I'm going to teach you a really quick and dirty way to get a decent looking ebook without vellum. Okay, the big secret to how to make your ebook look just a little bit better without using a program like Vellum is Draft to Digital. Digital.com. Now, a lot of people know that you can sort of publish your book through here if you're going wide, but that is not what we're going to do with it. I've already logged into my account. We're going to go over here, and you can see that in the past I've formatted all kinds of books here. Let's see where I have done. I'm pretty sure I've done Cold Spell once before here. So, well, I don't see it. So we're going to add a new book. Okay, as you can see, I have uploaded the file I was just working on. We're going to go ahead and fill all this out. So, delete all those extra spaces. Okay, so we have to select some subjects, but again, it doesn't really matter since we're not actually publishing this here. We're just trying to get to the part where it gives you all the formatting options. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick the couple of options that I put on Amazon already. Don't need to worry about search terms since we're not actually publishing it. Save and continue. Upload the cover. Okay, we have uploaded our book cover. And as you can see, because we bolded and centered those titles, it was able to kind of scour the document and it pulled out all of our headings automatically. And if it doesn't, you can click help. These are my chapters, and it's pretty easy to go through and fix that. So we're going to save and continue. And here we go. It's going to give us a couple of different formatting options and a preview of what it looks like. So this is like the simplest one. Looks pretty simple, but I don't particularly like that one. I actually use the grime one a lot. So it puts this little thing at the top there. And you can turn off the drop caps if you don't like it, but I generally leave it on. Scroll through. I don't know if I have any in this book, but if you have, there's one, a scene break, it'll automatically find where I've done 3 stars and replace it with this little break here automatically, which is really nice because you can do that manually and go in and put little images and stuff like that, but Word tends to freak out when you put in images, and it's really hard to get them just right. And this is just easier, and it saves me a lot of time because I have done it manually, but this took me like 30 seconds to do. So what we're not going to do is click this and hit save and continue, because we do not want to publish this here. However, we can get our files without ever publishing this anywhere. So here to the right, we have 3 different options: Mobi, EPUB, and PDF. For publishing on Amazon, you need a Mobi file. For publishing anywhere else, pretty much you need an EPUB file. And you can download the PDF, but it doesn't really look right when you do it for print. At least I don't think it does, but I don't know, you may find that yours looks a little differently. But since I only need the Amazon file, I'm going to go ahead and download the Mobi. When I do advanced review copies, I get the EPUB so that I can upload it to BookFunnel too. So we're going to save it as Cold Spell Kindle. It's now saved to our desktop. And let's open that, and you'll be able to see that it's already a completely formatted ebook, and that didn't take very long at all. Putting in the links actually took the longest, and that probably took about 15 minutes. And if I did everything correctly, I should have a fully functional ebook with table of contents and all the fancy design work. Yeah, there you go. See? You have the subscribe thing at the beginning. And as you saw, come on, it opened right at the prologue. So when a reader opens this on their Kindle, they're probably not actually going to see all of this because Kindle will jump right to what it thinks the beginning of the book is. But anybody who does the look inside from the product page is going to see this, which is why I put it up front here. And then you have the people who are going to flip back through and see it. So we can go all the way to the end and make sure everything came out exactly like I wanted. And then all I have to do is upload that to Amazon, and it should be exactly like I just saw it in my Kindle. Okay, so there you have it, a really basic, quick and dirty look at ebook formatting, the way that I do it, especially when I'm in a hurry. Now, I know I said at the beginning of the video that I really don't like formatting. It just seems like it takes forever. It's something that, as time goes on, I find myself wanting to outsource more and more, especially to people who might have access to Vellum, because those ebooks that are formatted with Vellum do look just a little bit better than what I did with the drafted digital and what I can do with Word. But I don't have a Mac, so I can't really do it. And generally outsourcing it to somebody who does have Vellum and can do that is $50 to $100. So For me, not a big deal, but if you don't have 50 to $100 to pay someone to do formatting, this is a great way for you to do your own formatting for absolutely free. Okay, that's all the time I have this week. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video when it comes out. Bye-bye!